Gig work is tough on your automobile, and at some point you will be stranded on the side of the road. I've got some tips that may help you choose the right plan to get you out of that situation. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Let's hit it! It's the week after Thanksgiving and I am back. I'm back a little bit slower than I expected to be. I put out a quick video on the week of Thanksgiving because it was a crazy busy week. I've had a great week. I wanted to get back into it early in the week with a whole bunch of videos, but I've been sick for the past 3 days. I still am. I've just had one of the worst colds I have ever had in my life, and it's relentless, and nothing that I take for it is touching it. So I've been down, out, just been exhausted. There's a faucet up in here somewhere that just won't shut off. Been sneezing like crazy, coughing like crazy. Sleeping has been a chore, and when I do fall asleep, I have to get up, and then that starts the whole cycle all over again. So you probably know, you've been there, but this is probably the top 5 of the worst colds I've ever had in my life. So I wanted to follow up on a topic that I did a couple weeks ago where I was stuck on the side of the road because I had a cooling system line blow out on me, and boy did that create a whole big drama. Smoke everywhere, steam and smell and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, you saw it. You saw my vehicle on the back of a flatbed getting towed back to Pensacola, and I wanted to share with you some experiences that I had that day because I thought I had a roadside assistance plan that would help me in a situation just like that, less than 100 miles from home, and it turns out it was completely worthless. I've been driving for a few decades, and most of that time I belonged to an organization called AAA, the American Automobile Association. And it's an organization that I've had some decent luck with, not always, but hey, most of the time it's worked out well. A few weeks ago, when I had my breakdown, they were absolutely zero help to me in that situation, and that was not the first time I ran into troubles this year. I have a plan called AAA Plus, which is to get you 100 miles of free towing. I was working in a town 70 miles away, and I needed to get back to Pensacola to the repair shop that I trust and get me back close enough to home that someone can pick me up and take me home just a couple miles away. Unfortunately, the provider in that area said they can't get to me that day. It was a Saturday. I'm parked on a public street. Turns out it actually was a private street, and the people that owned that street were getting a little upset with me being there, and they were concerned that I was going to be there for a long time. And so I said, no, I'm going to get this vehicle out of here today. Don't you worry about it. I'll take care of it. And they were very nice to me, very accommodating, and they were offering all kinds of assistance, so I was very happy with them for that. But then this AAA provider told me, well, I can't even get to you till Sunday. You know what? Forget that. I might not even get to you tomorrow. It might not even be till Monday, and even that I don't know. Well, that's not going to work for me because I'm not leaving my vehicle on this road, whether it be public or private, because if it's a private road, that's going to get towed. If it's a public road, the sheriff's office is going to sticker me and have me towed. So either way, that vehicle's getting towed to some places I don't want it to be, and that's going to cost me a lot of money. So what do? Well, AAA did give me the option that I could hire my own company, and I can submit a reimbursement request. Well, when I asked them for some guidance on that reimbursement, how long will it take, what's the dollar amounts that you folks typically look at, they wouldn't give me any information and said they transferred me to a worthless department that just said, well, you just have to do it. Lucky for me, I keep a credit card on hand for exactly these types of emergency situations. I keep it in my vehicle so that should a weird situation pop up either with my gig work or with my automobile, that I have something that I can fall back on. And thank God I do. But I know many of you don't, because a lot of you live paycheck to paycheck and you may not have an extra line of credit that you can draw on for when you are in a bind. So I do want to say that I have used AAA services in Pensacola, Florida, where I've had good luck with them. The service provider here has been very quick, very responsive, friendly, professional. They run a shop that has a good reputation in town. I've never used them, but I know other people that have, so that's fine. I've had no issues here. But 70 miles from here, it was a whole different story. So when I was calling around for a private tow company to get me and my vehicle from Destin to Pensacola, I learned a lot by talking to these people. Many of these people had affiliations with AAA before, and they dropped them because the reimbursement rates are very low. AAA contracts their services out to other providers. AAA doesn't operate its own tow trucks in a lot of places. In some places, they will actually operate their own auto repair shops. I know in Baltimore they do, for example. So a lot of places just won't do business with AAA. And one tow truck provider that I talked to said, yeah, there's 16 companies that do towing services in this area, and only one contracts with AAA. So that's all I needed to know at that point. Another thing that another provider told me was that the roadside assistance through your car insurance plans offer much better coverage. And they said specifically Geico and Progressive. So you better believe it that the next morning I called my insurance agent and said, sign me up with the roadside assistance plan on my policies. And he did. Now here's something else that I learned from my independent insurance agent, and another reason why I recommend you have an independent insurance agent, because you're going to learn a lot of things that you won't know from calling an 800 number and dealing with an insurance company directly. Now I've learned a lot from this agent. I've passed a lot of that on to you about my topics on auto insurance, so I urge you to go back and check them out if you haven't watched them already. So my independent insurance agent says, yeah, I'll be happy to sign you up for this, but let me ask you a question. Who's your cell provider? I told him, well, T-Mobile. He says, well, I have AT&T, and guess what? They offer roadside assistance on the calling plan that I have. And I'm like, you kidding me? And he says, no, seriously. I don't know if it's on every plan. He says, but it was on mine. I got into trouble. I called them. They sent somebody out. No money out of my pocket. So he asked me to take a look at my cell provider plan and ask others to do the same. You know, check your cell phone service plan, because maybe they do include something like that in there. So I went ahead and got the roadside assistance plan on my insurance policies. So right now I actually have 2 roadside assistance plans because my AAA just renewed. I haven't decided whether I'm going to cancel that or not. There's some things that remain to be seen. We're going to see if I get my reimbursement on time. They said it should take about 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks, so let's see how much longer it takes. Plus, I do have some products that are tied in with that organization that one of them is going to be a little difficult to break free of. I mean, I can break free of it, but it's going to have some consequences because I do use one of their credit cards, and I do have a good credit history, long-term credit history with them, so that can impact my credit score, and that may impact my ability to finance a car, which may be necessary in the not too distant future. So before you sign up for a roadside assistance plan, talk to your trusted mechanic and see who they might recommend. Talk to other tow truck providers in your area and find out who they might recommend, because everyone's going to have a slightly different experience. My experiences and my solutions may not exactly match up with you. It's going to be dependent on where you live. I lived in New Hampshire. I used AAA up there. I've had to wait a while, an hour or two, but that's been in the middle of winter on those very cold mornings when a lot of vehicles aren't starting, even though I still did a lot of my maintenance to prevent that. But hey, let's just say when the temperature is 20 below zero, it doesn't matter sometimes how much maintenance you do. When nature calls, it's gonna zap your car good. So there are some things you can do to help prevent from being caught in an unfortunate situation on the side of the road where you're not making money, where you're losing an order, perhaps a $50 batch. This happened to me this summer. This is where I had another AAA failure. I had sitting in a parking lot, sitting there for 15 minutes waiting for another batch to come in. I had my headlights on the car. The car was shut off, and I accepted a $53 batch. Went to start the car, dead as a doorknob, which I thought was very odd. I found the headlights were on, But on that vehicle, I've never had a problem with leaving headlights on for 15 minutes draining the battery. That has never happened to me before. That vehicle should last a lot longer, should last about 45 minutes before you have any kind of problem like that. I know, I've been there, done that. So that was unusual. Turns out the battery was failing. But again, I immediately reached out to AAA. It was going to be a 90-minute response time. Nobody was responding. And I got a jump start from somebody, saved the batch, thank goodness. And yeah, I was on my merry way. I asked Mrs. Bulldog for a Christmas gift this year. One of those is a kit that has a battery jump start pack and then also an air compressor so that you can inflate a tire on the side of the road. I've seen a few people use them this summer and they work. You know, I watched them, offered to help. No, we've got this. I said, those things actually work. They said, yeah, they work great. And I watched the guy get up and go. He was fine. So, wonder if I'll have something wrapped up under the tree for that, you know. Well, this thing. Where's my tree? Right there. By the way, that tree is in the process of getting decorated. With me getting knocked down, I just have not been in the mood or energy to try to decorate it or anything. So it's there for now. We got plenty of time to Christmas. It's going to get decorated, well, sometime, but it is going to take the missus to really kind of spur that along. Because you know what happens when a guy tells you something will be fixed. You know, 6 months later, you have to be reminded time and time again. So again, make sure that you have a good roadside assistance plan that shouldn't cost you money out of pocket. Make sure that it will be there when you need it. And if possible, keep a spare credit card or even some extra cash on hand so that you can get yourself out of that situation like I was fortunately able to do. Again, I know for many of you, you can't do that. I understand it. I get it. But if you do tack it onto your auto insurance premiums and you can get the plan that costs you nothing out of pocket for when you do need it, then the extra $6 or $7 a month will be worth it. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Happy to be back with you. I'll bring you more tips for bigger tips and better ratings, especially as we keep inching closer to the Christmas holiday. I hope it's a very busy season for you. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have joined the past couple of weeks. I thank you very much. I hope you give this video a like. Not only do I enjoy seeing all the likes, but it does help the algorithm to help other people who need to see this message. So please give it a like if you can. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Until next time, go get 'em!